Hi, my name is Gary York. I'm the Director and Division Head of 311 Toronto at the City of Toronto. I could probably do one of both if that's okay. So the first one we're going to do is from a personal perspective. When I was much younger, many years ago, I played sports a lot. And one time in my life I thought, I'd probably be a professional basketball player, and I was going down that road. And I had an opportunity, and I was given 3 scholarship offers to the United States. One was Florida, and around that area, Florida State and Miami. And I was pretty much going to go and do that, and I thought that was going to be a great thing for my life. And I kind of thought that was a great thing, but during that time frame, from a familial perspective, my brother got hurt. And he got into a car accident, and he got paralyzed from that car accident. So I had a decision to make. Do I take the scholarship and go to the States and focus on me, or do I focus on my family? Because how do I leave my family in this situation? I decided to stay with my family. And that kind of made me realize what's important to me going forward, because I could have possibly done something else. No regrets, because at the end of the day I had extra time with my family and my brother, and I couldn't not do that. So from that perspective, it helped me prioritize very young in life what's important, and it grounded me. And also service. I remember realizing the importance of servicing my family at that point in time, which was very important to me, and quality of life. From a career perspective, we've all, hopefully not everyone has encountered this, but we do encounter this. You're in an organization, and one of the challenges that I had is, even though you're in an organization, you have a role or function to play. Sometimes that role is not necessarily understood or supported through that organization. And I think from a contact center perspective, I can relate that to a contact center. Many people, and they'll say this negative comment, and a monkey can do that, which means many negative connotations. But let's park that for a second. The bottom line is, that's your brand. And a lot of people underestimate that plan and underpay for the staff that have there to manage their brand and their interaction with the public. And I think through trials and tribulations, have been able to drive the importance and the relevance of that contact center to that line of business, or in my case, the City of Toronto. So I could think of when I first arrived, 311, great organization, but there were some misunderstandings and the lack of solid relationships. And through strategic planning and managing certain initiatives, that brand, that understanding, that relationship with the city and the City of Toronto has developed, and it's been a robust relationship now. And now we're evolving from 311 Toronto to Toronto at your service, where the 311 organization is still the foundation of the city, and it's actually going to grow from a wheelchair perspective. So that's a fantastic story. But initially, when you talk to counselors and things of that nature, you realize that there's some resistance and some skepticism around the value of 311. And in the last 2.5 years that I've been there, been able to drive that and actually show the importance of 311 and customer service, and changing that philosophy around the city about engaging customer service and putting the customer first.
Hi, my name is Nigel Weiser. I'm the Director of Channel Management, Digital and Contact Management with CIBC. At least in my life and career, none of it's been easy. You're constantly overcoming challenges. You're constantly overcoming tough situations. So I have tons to pick from, but the one that my mind goes to, because it was so fundamental and life-changing, and it's going all the way back to the beginning of my university days. And it was a critical decision that I had to make, where I was trying to decide, do I stay in school or don't I? I kind of just stumbled through high school, got to university, and realized you have to do work, and you actually have to try. And I was, in all honesty, ready to come home and kind of pack up my bags. And that's not to say that university is for everybody or it's a requirement. What it was is a challenge. It was a hard challenge that required me to change and transform who I was in order to overcome it. And what I learned at that time, because honestly I was sitting halfway through the year, and I thought, do I quit halfway and go home, or do I stay? And with some valuable conversations with my mentors at the time, it got me to ask myself some really hard and honest questions. What have I contributed to this situation? What could I have done more? If I do decide to quit, what are the other options that I have? So those questions in my mind obviously led me to say, okay, I'll try and stick it out. But what I learned even after that became so fundamental in making who I am as a human being, in that I came to learn this challenge that seemed unsurmountable to me, one that I just thought, I'm not meant for this, actually became one that I owned. And it actually changed my working style, it changed my working habits, because I began to see the progress and the improvement I was making and the results I was achieving just by putting my mind to it. So the reason I bring that story up is because I've felt this situation many times since then, where I've thought to myself, okay, this is probably enough for me to pack it in, I'll call it a day. But you think back to that situation and none of them feel as bad as that one did. And I've come to kind of learn that those are the situations that truly build you. And that's those tools that I've taken with me every single step of the way. It's doubting yourself, not feeling like you have the capability or the resiliency to do it, and we're not even trying. So I guess the lesson I learned out of all that, you have to push yourself, and if you don't know until you try. So I've constantly carried that with me, and ultimately it's taught me that you can do a lot more than you think.